you don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself. You don't feel guilty about spending a little time or a little bit of your resources on things that you can do, little activities that you can do to help your mental well-being and your peace and your joy and your happiness, so that
Hi, I'm Shantae, and welcome to Parenting Special Needs Live Show. Today, our special guest is Denise Firestone. She is a speech pathologist and a certified life coach, health and clarity catalyst coach. Woo! So I'm excited to have her here because many of you know that we've been talking about mom makeovers from the inside out, and we want to kind of understand a little bit more about life coaching. So I'm excited to have Denise here to explain it to us, because I know when I've spoken to several moms, they're like, what's a life coach or what do they do? And I didn't have the answer. So I thought we should ask a professional. So please help me in welcoming Denise to the show. Welcome, Denise.
good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share a little bit about life coaching with you and your audience. And I really feel that you're going to leave with a better understanding about what life coaching is all about.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so I have to share a little story first, and then so I don't know if you've ever watched that show on Netflix called Billions, and I've only watched the first 3 seasons, all right, but the main character, he's very wealthy, and his name's Bobby Axelrod, and he has like a life coach, or what I thought was a life coach. Maybe she's more of a performance coach, but as I watch it and watch what she does for him, I'm like, we all need one of those. So I was very interested in finding out more about life coaches, and then sharing a little bit more info so we can go back on to why we're going to have you explain to us. We decided we were going to do a mom makeover, and the mom makeovers for, our audience. We found out that, they didn't have time to necessarily go shopping or get their hair done or anything, but what they might need is like a life coach to help them figure out maybe what they should prioritize. And so anyway, so we decided we would do a makeover from the inside out. So that's why we're excited about learning about life coaching and what it means. Because when I did ask a couple of moms, they're like, what is life coaching? So what is life coaching? And
Awesome.
What's the difference? I have a second part of your question.
Okay, great. So there's many facets of life coaching. So you can have a life health coach, you can have a health coach, you can have a performance coach. Basically, a life coach is certified from an accredited program, and they're not bound by any state licensure. So they can, coach anyone from anywhere. And they help clients identify their challenges and areas of their life where they're seeking change. So they work in partnership with the client to help them achieve their goals through personal empowerment. So making them really aware of their strengths and motivation. And they incorporate various strategies and action steps that you can do, small increments to make small changes that lead to big outcomes and big results. So ultimately, a life coach really helps you to achieve your desired outcomes. Now, the difference between a life coach and a counselor is a life coach, like I said, isn't bound by any state licensures, and they're not able to take insurance as forms of payment. And they're not allowed to make any type of mental health diagnoses. So a counselor or a therapist is allowed to, they're trained to make diagnoses, and then they provide their professional expertise and guidelines to help their patients deal with past or current traumas from a mental health aspect and from emotional healing perspectives. So they're licensed by their states in which they provide their counseling services, and they usually can take some type of insurance as their payment. Okay. So that's basically the difference.
So so you have to explain that a little bit more for me, because I only grasped part of it. So, okay. So if I go to a counselor, they might work on a specific area, but like my health benefits would pay for that, right? If it was marriage counseling or whatever like that, right? Or if they found out that during marriage counseling, each one of us might have had some issues with depression, they might recommend a prescription, okay? But that is not what you do. What you do is I would call you or contact you and say, like, what would be the first step? Like, would I call you? Like, how do you find life coaches? That might be an answer. That might be a question too.
So yes. Okay. So say you're struggling with you just feel like you don't have your life's purpose anymore, or that you're really feeling exhausted, or you're really yes, or you're really feeling like, you know, I know I'm a parent of special needs as well. And there were times when I would put 100% into my family and 100% into my kids. And, you know, you're constantly busy and you're running them to different therapy appointments and you're advocating for whatever they need at school. And you slowly start to chip away at the things that bring you comfort or bring you peace. And a life coach then can help you start to flip that for yourself a little bit, so that you don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself. You don't feel guilty about spending a little time or a little bit of your resources on things that you can do, little activities that you can do to help your mental well-being and your peace and your joy and your happiness, so that you're living your life on purpose. You're living with, you know, insight and things like that. Your life coach can help you like balance those things a little bit. And oftentimes I think what happens is we grow up in something where from childhood through our adult life, we are taught how we're supposed to respond to situations, how we're supposed to respond to our emotions. And then we develop these little gremlins in our mind that talk to us and tell us if we're doing something right or doing something wrong. So especially parents of special needs children, we're constantly second guessing, and we're constantly having that gremlin say, you're not being a good parent because of XYZ, or you're not doing this right because of XYZ. And so what a life coach can help you do is really start to flip that switch and that self-talk and quiet those gremlins. And so that you can start to get a more clear picture of like that disconnect. And so you can start changing those limiting beliefs, and you can realize that, hey, I can be a really, really good parent and still take some time for myself. And I can be a really, really effective parent and still hone in on some of the things that I like to do, some of my activities for creativity. And so that's one big area where I think life coaching can be really, really beneficial. And you can find life coaches in basically just by doing a Google search, like in areas of your interest. So for example, if you want to start doing yoga, or you want to start changing your diet, or you want to start learning more about your life's purpose or your creativity, then you can Google search life coaches for creativity or life coaches for finding my life's purpose. And you'll be surprised, you'll get a lot of hits. And for me personally, if you go to my website, DeniseFirestoneCoaching.com, and sign up, leave me your email, you get a free gift instantly. It's 25 tips to change your mindset instantly, different activities you can do to do that instantly. And leave me your contact information. Then I can reach out to you. We can have a 30-minute free session where we talk about what your needs are. We uncover what you're really looking for, what you're desiring at the moment, and see if we're a good fit for one another.
So you kind of interview the coach to see if there's a good fit, like kind of
yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it really has to be a relationship that you develop with that person that's a good fit from a coach's standpoint and from a client standpoint. You know, you want to be able to because you develop a really close relationship with this person. And so you want to feel a connection with them. You want to feel like, yes, I can be invested in that. I can be invested in their program. And then your life coach is there to really support you, give you the tools that you need to make those small changes, because then ultimately you're making those small changes over a period of time. And that keeps the gremlins quiet. But it's also flipping your whole energy, and you're slowly shifting into being, you're slowly making these small changes, and then you're shifting, and you're shifting in a way that's bringing you more positivity. And then once you start shifting, then the people around you start shifting. Your children start shifting, your significant others start shifting, your relationship with your friends start shifting. And it's kind of like all of that positivity that you're learning and you're creating for yourself now becomes part of your energy field, and you're putting that out there with others.
Right.
And then you're naturally going to attract that back to yourself.
Oh, that's all. Okay. But I have a question back on this. So I would imagine,
Sure.
like, as you were saying that in searching, so would a mom, like, I could see as you were talking about all this, like that special needs parents could definitely benefit from this. I'm thinking, sign me up. Okay. So I could also see where it would seem like a mother or a coach that has special needs children or has an understanding, because our life is different than everybody else's. I mean, it just is. So it'd be really helpful to have someone that understands what we go through, because, like, I love my mother and my daughter, nobody else really knows what we go through, except maybe
Right.
a parent. So do they have that on their website? Like, do they list that? Like, is there a special needs section, like coaching special needs parents? I mean, how do you find that?
Yes. So if you would, like, once again, Google's amazing, because when you put in those keywords, then you start to get coaches that specifically deal with that.
Okay.
Or coaches, through my accreditation programs, I've met some special needs individuals that have become coaches. And I often think, what a wonderful gift that they are to the special needs population and to the parents, because they themselves have special needs, and then they can, they've lived the life. So they're even, a great resource. So it's not difficult to find coaches. It really isn't difficult. If, like I said, Google's a wonderful thing. I think if you don't have access to the internet, or that's something that's difficult for you, or you're not comfortable with the internet, then start asking in your community. Start asking at, your places of worship. Start asking at school. Start asking friends. Even ask your counselor, because a lot of counselors, if you're going to counseling and you're doing that route, they can refer you to different centers that have that offer coaching. So there really are a lot of coaches, like I said, Shantae, that deal with so many different facets of your life, that it's just a matter of asking questions, putting yourself out there. It's kind of like when we want to learn about a new therapy technique. You hear about it, and then you start researching about it, and then all of a sudden it comes to you.
So let me ask you this, because this popped up while you were talking, is, okay, so I'm 25 years in, right? And would raise 25 years in raising a child with special needs, I should say. But would it be, to me, I would have loved if someone would have, like, I mean, would it be beneficial for someone with a younger child? I mean, they're not going to know everything, but at the same time, like, they need to know that they have to put, I would imagine, like, they have to put themselves in boundaries or something. Like, life would have been different if I would have known some of these tools, probably. And I don't know the tools. I need to learn them.
Right. Right.
Whatever you're teaching probably would be beneficial if I was younger and could have made certain decisions based on things that I did know from this teaching. Right.
Right. And, the nice thing about it is, like I said, so many of our limiting beliefs, so many of the things that make us who we are things that we learned when we were children, and then through our experience as adults and things like that. So the beautiful thing about, no matter when you start life coaching, I'm doing a program right now with teens and young kids and teens. And making them aware of some of these things, that limiting beliefs, how, your creativity gets squashed as you're growing up, or things like that. And so you're never too old or you're never too young to start. And that kind of can lead me into a takeaway that I have for us for today. Mindfulness is kind of a hot topic right now. And a lot of people are curious about meditation and breathing techniques and things like that. And so one thing that I do with my clients is it's a really simple meditation technique that flips the switch. And you can do it with your kids, and you can teach your kids. And I know that I even do this with some of the students that I work with. So you're basically, your fingertips have pressure points, and they're like acupuncture pressure points. Okay. And so what you do is you come up with a phrase, and the phrase could be something like, peace begins with me, or I am in control, or A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or anything. I'm okay now. So, or come back to the moment. So what's ever happening, you think of a phrase, okay? And you can use that, and you do some deep breathing. And all of a sudden, you have calmed your system. And so one thing that I like to tell my clients is recognize when you might need to do it. So if you're having a really stressful day, you can do it. You do it a couple times, and then all of a sudden you just you come back to the present moment, and you come back into control. And then those gremlins are quiet. You're not like, oh, I'm going to freak out, or my child's going to have a behavior, or things are going to go haywire right now. It brings you back to your moment, brings you back to your breath. Yeah.
I'm doing
so
it.
That's a good one. And that's a nice one to do with kids too.
Right.
So you can teach your children how to do that. And then they can start to recognize when they think that they might be feeling anxiety or stress, and it'll immediately bring them back to some sense of calm. So it's a wonderful thing. I mean, sometimes when I wake up in the night and my mind is racing or whatever, I do that again, and I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of a sudden I'm calm again, and my mind's not racing, and I can go back to sleep easier. And those are simple things that you can do, and you can teach your kids, and it just starts making life a little bit easier and a little calmer.
Yeah, no, I love that.
So that's one little thing.
That's one. You have any more? I love them.
Yes. So another thing that I like to do with my clients. So say a mom comes to me and she decides that she wants to sign up for my program, and she's really feeling stressed about that limiting belief that she has to be the super mom or the super parent. And she's the only one that is sacrificing 100% of herself and the activities that she loves doing in order to take care of her children, to make sure the house is perfect, to make sure that all the meals are nutritious, to do all of those things that we put all that pressure on ourselves to do. And we start to uncover, like, what is it? What activities bring you energy? What activities bring you peace? What are the things that you like to do? What are the things that bring you joy? And so we spend a lot of time uncovering what those activities might be. And then we figure out little action steps that we can do to add those to our day or to our week and not feel guilty about it. It's called healthy selfishness, because you need to take care of yourself. You need to fill up yourself. And then we come up with little action steps that we can do to incorporate that. But then we also figure out little action steps that we can do to make some of the activities that don't bring us comfort, that are hard for us, such as I hate to dust. So, but I love music. So I play music when I'm dusting. And then all of a sudden it's a better activity. So it's little things like that. But we're so busy and we don't take the time sometimes to uncover those things. And your life coach can help you do that.
Oh, that is so awesome. So that's two great tips. I like that. So incorporate something that you don't like with something you do like to make it more enjoyable.
Right, right. And also to become mindful and aware that it's a good thing to take care of yourself. It's a good thing to balance things out a little bit, because you're always going to be advocating for your kids. You're always going to be putting in extra time for them. You're always going to be doing things to take care of them and make sure that things are okay for them. That's a given. You know, we're not going to stop doing that. But if we can start incorporating some of the things that we need to do to start taking care of ourselves, then we don't lose sight of our own happiness and the things that, you know, that make us feel like we're living a life on purpose and not just living for our special needs kids.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough. Thank you. And I like the little tips of this. I'm going to do that because I noticed when you were saying it, it did calm me down. So thank you. So thank you for being with us and explaining. And I feel like I have a better understanding of everything. And I have a few tips to take away in my life. So thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. And I have one more little gift for you, Shantae. I always like to end my sessions with a powerful thought card. Okay. And so what I would like for you to do is tell me how many times you would like me to shuffle the card, because the message that you're going to get is something that I feel your energy is going to come into these cards, and it's going to be something that's going to be meaningful. Okay. So how many times do you want me to shuffle?
I don't know. The thing that popped to my head said 3 and then 6.
Okay, so there you go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and do you want me to take the top card, a middle card, cut the deck?
The sixth card. That's what it said to do. I don't know. I'm listening to whatever popping in my head.
Okay, here it is. I am unfolding in fulfilling ways. Only good can come to me. I now express health, happiness, prosperity, and peace of mind. So I am in the process of positive change. That's your card.
Wow, I love it. All right, you're gonna have to have a screenshot and send that to me so I can put it on, print it out.
I will, for sure.
All right, listen, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you everybody for joining us today and tuning in. And in case no one has told you, you are doing a great job. Be good to you. It's hard work, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.